Welcome back to my YouTube channel where we explore the fascinating world of coins, their hidden history, their artistic design, their value, and everything in between. Today we are diving deep into one of the most iconic coins in American history, the Washington Quarter, and more specifically, the 1988 Washington Quarter. This coin might seem ordinary at first glance, but its history, production, and relevance in the numismatic world make it an intriguing piece for collectors and historians alike. The Washington Quarter series has a rich legacy that stretches back to the early 1930s, introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of the birth of George Washington, the first president of the United States. The design was chosen through a competition, and ultimately sculptor John Flanagan's portrait of Washington was selected for the obverse. This image of Washington is based on a bust created by Jean-Antoine Houdon in 1786, a sculpture known for capturing Washington's true likeness. In its inception, the quarter had a dual purpose. It was both a circulating coin and a tribute to national heritage. The Washington Quarter began its journey made of 90% silver and 10% copper from 1932 through 1964. However, due to rising silver prices and changes in economic policy, the U.S. Mint transitioned to a clad composition in 1965. This new composition featured a core of pure copper sandwiched between two layers of copper-nickel alloy, creating the modern clad coin that is still in use today. By the time we reached the year 1988, the Washington Quarter had been in circulation for over 5 decades. The 1988 Washington Quarter is part of what collectors often refer to as the pre-statehood quarters era, running from 1965 until 1998, which was just before. The 50-state quarters program began in 1999. These quarters were minted for regular circulation and feature John Flanagan's design on the obverse, and an eagle with outstretched wings on the reverse, a symbol of strength and freedom. The 1988 quarters were minted at 3 different locations: the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and a limited number as proof coins at the San Francisco Mint. The Philadelphia coins are marked with a P, the Denver with a D, and the San Francisco proof coins with an S. It is important to note that proof coins were not intended for circulation, but rather for collectors, and are struck with specially polished dies that give them a mirror-like appearance. In 1988, the U.S. Mint produced over 1 billion Washington quarters, which included 562 million coins from the Philadelphia Mint and about 596 million from the Denver Mint, making this one of the higher mintage years. However, while the 1988 quarter might not be rare in general circulation, there are specific errors and varieties that collectors look for and which can significantly increase the coin's value. These include doubled dies off-center strikes, die cracks, and coins that have been struck on the wrong planche. Some examples of valuable error coins from 1988 include the doubled die obverse, where the lettering, and sometimes Washington's features, are noticeably doubled. These can be spotted with the naked eye or a magnifier and can command higher prices based on the intensity of the doubling. Off-center strikes can also be valuable, especially if a significant portion of the design is missing while still displaying the date and mint mark. Another key aspect of the 1988 Washington Quarter is its metal composition and how that affects long-term preservation and grading. As a clad coin with a copper core and nickel outer layer, it is susceptible to environmental damage, such as toning corrosion and edge wear. Coins that remain in high grades, especially those graded mint state by grading agencies like PCGS or NGC, are of significant interest to collectors. A 1988 quarter-graded MS-67 or higher is quite rare and can be worth significantly more than face value due to its exceptional condition and eye appeal. Beyond the physical aspects of the coin, the 1988 Washington Quarter also holds a place in the broader narrative of American coinage during the Reagan era. The 1980s in America were marked by significant economic changes, a rise in conservative policies, and renewed patriotic sentiment. The Washington Quarter continued to serve as a symbol of national pride during this time, quietly facilitating commerce and reflecting the enduring legacy of the nation's first president. In the wider context of numismatics, the 1988 quarter is part of a transitional period leading up to the most ambitious quarter program in U.S. history, the 50-State Quarters Program. The introduction of state-specific designs in 1999 marked a major shift in public engagement with coin collecting, bringing millions of new hobbyists into the fold. But even before that, the coins from the late 1980s represent the end of an era, the final chapter in the long-standing Flanagan design before the series experienced a historic transformation. Collectors who focus on this period often seek out high-grade examples of each year in the series, including 1988 in both P and D mint marks, and occasionally the S-proof coins. These are often assembled into complete sets to reflect a time capsule of American coinage just before the explosion of commemorative designs. In terms of international coinage and comparison, the Washington Quarter has often been admired for its clean, balanced design and its longevity. Very few coin designs remain unchanged for over 65 years. The image of George Washington, stern yet composed, and the proud eagle on the reverse created a visual identity that was unmistakably American. For new collectors, the 1988 Washington Quarter is often a starting point, an easy-to-find coin that introduces them to the intricacies of mint marks, errors, grading, and numismatic history. For seasoned collectors, it may be a coin they pass over unless in pristine condition or with a notable error. But that does not diminish its importance in the overall history of U.S. currency and design. Finally, the Washington Quarter, including the 1988 version, remains a key example of how coinage reflects more than just economic utility. It represents artistry, national values, and the evolving identity of a country. From its historical roots in the 1930s to its widespread circulation in the 1980s, this coin tells a story that spans generations and continues to capture the interest of collectors and historians alike. So whether you're a beginner looking to understand more about what's in your pocket, change, or a seasoned collector hunting for mint state examples or rare varieties, the 1988 Washington Quarter has a story worth telling and preserving for years to come.